Walker rumors were going around the last couple of weeks here that the Celtics are looking to move on from him, and that comes to fruition here today with Kemba Walker and a number 16 pick and a 2025 second rounder to the Thunder for Al Horford, Moses Brown, and a 2023 second rounder in this deal. So another good deal here for the OKC Thunder, in my opinion. You're getting Kemba Walker. Obviously, he's a big contract, but you're also getting the number 16 pick, and you're getting rid of Al Horford, who has a big contract as well, and a guy that didn't play the last 2 months of the season with the Thunder. They just sent him home, and for him to collect pay, just sitting home, they didn't want him playing, and they wanted to see what the young guys could do, like Moses Brown, who definitely emerged and was a fantasy factor as well late in the season for the Thunder. But now he goes to the Boston Celtics. So Kemba Walker, it was a little bit of a disappointment the first few seasons he was with Boston. He was a big offseason acquisition a few off seasons ago, going from the Charlotte Hornets to the Celtics in free agency. And Kemba Walker, injuries have been a major concern for him. Last season, he missed about a month or two beginning of the year. And he's just not the same guy, in my opinion. The speed isn't all there. He's not playing as great basketball as he did, obviously, with the Hornets, even though those Hornet teams never won anything and didn't really ever make the playoffs. But right here, Kemba Walker last season, 19.3 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1.1 steals, 3 threes a game, 89% from the foul line, and 42% from the field with Walker's numbers. So on paper, those are pretty good numbers, obviously, except the field goal percentage. But obviously, it wasn't a huge impact here for this Boston team, and they got bounced in the first round of the NBA playoffs from the Brooklyn Nets. And now Kemba, he goes to OKC, where there's a lot of young players and pieces over there, obviously. And now Gilgeous-Alexander, he's probably going to move to the 2 guard. And you're going to have Walker in there starting at the point guard, obviously. But the Thunder, they keep stockpiling first-round picks, and they get another one in this season's draft and a second-rounder as well. And as far as fantasy basketball goes, Kemba Walker, I could see next season his scoring per game going up because, like I mentioned, the Thunder, they just don't really have many scorers or great big players yet to break out besides Gilgeous-Alexander. And maybe Lou gets Dort, he's shown promise, and Baisley as well. So right here, for fantasy basketball purposes, it's a great landing spot here for Walker. He's going to have the keys to that offense for the most part. And it's just going to be him and Alexander putting up shot after shot, in my opinion, this season here, in the 2021-22 season here for the Thunder. And he just didn't fit in Boston with great scorers like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And obviously, they needed a change there. And the Celtics, they moved on quickly and got rid of him here in a deal. And it's a surprise to me that a deal came this quick while the NBA playoffs are still going on here. Interesting, in my opinion, that it happens. And Al Horford, he goes to the Boston Celtics now here, where he was on them a few seasons ago was Horford. And right now, Horford, last season, he was pretty solid in the first few months he played. And then, like I said, they sent him home 14.2 points a game. 6.7 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 2 threes a game, 81% from the foul line, and 45% from the field. So Horford, he definitely had some fantasy value last season before he got sent home, and now he goes back to Boston. And I think he can contribute with this team. He was on Boston, obviously, many seasons ago, leaving there, going to the Philadelphia 76ers. And Boston, they obviously needed help at the center position. This season, they went through a lot of guys. They went through Williams, Tristan Thompson. They had Daniel Tice early in the year, but traded him to the Chicago Bulls. And now here, Horford, he's back with the Celtics. And I think he'll be a decent fantasy basketball player next season if he stays with the Celtics and gets starter minutes, which I think definitely will happen. And then Moses Brown here, who was the project last year, bursting onto the scene here for the OKC Thunder. He goes to Boston, and he'll most likely be a backup or even a third-string center over there. Like I said, they got Williams, who's pretty solid and put up big numbers. And now you got Horford. And last season for Moses Brown, 8.6 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, 1.1 blocks, 61% from the foul line, and 54% from the field. So Moses Brown, he's an athletic big who could fly. He could get above the rim. And he's just a guy that he's more of a traditional athletic center. He don't really have a jump shot. He's not going to take three-pointers. He can't shoot foul shots. But as an energy guy and a guy who's going to have a good field goal percentage and rebound in the basketball and could get you 10, 12 points a game maybe on some nights. He's a decent fantasy asset, but he's a guy probably you're going to draft in your later rounds and not draft at all. But Kemba Walker, he'll probably be a 5th or 6th round pick coming into fantasy drafts this season for the Thunder. Al Horford will probably be mid to late rounds, 8th to 12th round. And Moses Brown, he'll be a later round guy or a guy who hits the waiver wire after the drafts of the first blockbuster deal here of the season, even though the season just hasn't ended. So a good surprise trade going down here. Kemba Walker out of Boston going to the Thunder in a trade here. So we'll see what these guys could do in the upcoming 2021 and 22 season for their new teams and fantasy basketball owners.